You're listening to the Crystal Bar podcast, where crystals, astrology, and aligned living meet the cycles of the moon and year. I'm Claire, and each week I bring guidance and stories to inspire you to live with clarity, connection, and purpose. So take a deep breath, make this time for you, and let's begin. I am literally just sat here in shock. The weather has been on. It's the 25th of February 2026, and we're going to have blue skies and 18-degree temperatures today. What on earth is going on? I'm not complaining. I'm no way near complaining, but is this a sign of things to come? Is this just a little gentle warm-up before a frosty blast? Because normally, around Stuart's birthday in March, we have really cold weather. It's normally like icy and snowy. So yeah, I'm just really interested to see how this takes us. Is this the start of a hot summer again? I don't know, but spring is definitely springing here. And I'm so happy you're here with me today because honestly, something again has shifted. I think I say that every week at the moment. The whole year has turned into a really interesting start. Can you feel it? Can you? Because if you can't, believe me, over the coming week, you will, because we have got some mega energy shifts on the way. So we've got spring arriving on the 1st, which is Sunday, I think. And the air is feeling different. The light is feeling different. The beautiful sunrises are at a better time of the day. The sunsets are lingering out a little bit more. So the days are definitely growing longer. And for me, I don't know about you, the mornings don't feel quite as heavy as they did a few weeks ago. In the garden, we've got tulips pushing up through the soil. You may have seen the photos on the socials. And every time I see them, it feels like a quiet reminder that nothing stays dormant forever. Things always return. Things always begin again. And I've actually got my delivery of alpines arriving today because every year there are always a few plants in the garden, bless them. When I have a little look in the flower beds after winter, there's always a few that don't quite make it. Perhaps I've not planted them in the right position. I'm still learning. So this year I've gone for sunny lovers and shade lovers because we've got a very sunny bed and a very shady bed, and I will plant them accordingly. But no, every year I have been buying alpines this week, which to me is a symbol that spring is here. Spring is a beautiful opportunity to reset, to replenish, and to plant something new in the spaces where something else didn't grow. That is just a perfect analogy and reflection of life right now. We don't cling forever to what didn't work. We create space for what will. And as I'm sat here, I'm actually sat in the front of the lounge today, looking out over the horses and the field and the trees that are still quite bare. But I can see thickening on the branches, which to me is a sign that those leaves are on the way. But as I look out, the tall trees are absolutely full of pigeons right now, properly full. They're pairing up, they're sitting close together, preparing nests, preparing their next chapter. And I just wanted to highlight them because pigeons are funny creatures because they don't always see the beauty and their own beauty. They're not rare, they're not exotic, they're familiar, ordinary even. But spiritually, pigeons carry an extraordinary meaning. They symbolize home, devotion, loyalty, and the deep instinct to always find your way back to where you belong. Many of these pigeons are ancestors of those who were used for communicating in times gone by. They were domesticated and then disregarded. So just remember that their ancestry is strong and helped us communicate so many years before we could electronically. And that's what this season does. It brings you back to yourself as well. It reminds you of your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, because you might find they're waking up inside you right now. And I've also had so many lovely messages asking about Arnie and Ivy this week, which honestly means so much. Do you know what? They're doing really well. And Arnie through if you saw the photo yesterday on my stories, Arnie running through the garden like he had just rediscovered joy itself was one of the loveliest things to watch. He wasn't thinking about the rain anymore because honestly, it's been so difficult getting these dogs into the garden. Has anyone else got dogs? Has anyone else experienced the standing at the door and they're just sniffing the air as the rain comes down and they really don't want to go out? My goodness, he was just loving life. Ivy was still a bit unsure, bless her heart. She just likes to sit and watch what's going on. She does like to explore outside, especially if the squirrels have been in the garden. She'll chase their scent. But no, it was lovely to see. He was completely free, completely in his moment. And do you know what? There's something deeply healing about witnessing that kind of simplicity. And it's interesting because this entire week coming up carries that same theme. Returning, realigning, and discovering what truly matters. Because, my lovely, yes, Mercury is about to go retrograde. On February the 26th, Mercury moves retrograde in Pisces. And whenever Mercury retrograde appears, people tend to brace themselves. It has developed quite the reputation over the years. Suddenly, every delayed email, every forgotten password, every awkward conversation gets blamed on Mercury retrograde, as if Mercury itself personally logged into your phone and decided to create chaos. But this isn't here to punish you. It's here to slow you down. And in a world that constantly pushes you forward, slowing down can feel uncomfortable at first. Mercury governs communication, thought, decisions, travel, plans, and technology. It governs how we process information and how we express ourselves. So, Pisces, on the other hand, though, governs intuition, emotion, dreams, memory, and the deepest subconscious layers of who we are. So when Mercury moves backwards through Pisces, something very interesting happens. The logical mind loosens its grip. The intuitive mind becomes a lot louder. You might find yourself remembering things you hadn't thought about in years. You may suddenly see a situation differently. You may realize that something you once accepted no longer feels aligned. And you might even catch yourself asking, why is this coming up now? But the answer is simple. Yes, you are not the same person you were when it first happened. So Mercury is going to bring a second look. It brings reconsideration. It brings truth into focus, not to disrupt your path, but to refine it. If something needs correcting, this is when you see it. If something needs closing, this is when you feel ready. And yes, practically speaking, it's wise to double check things. Read messages properly. Back up important information. Give yourself a little more time when making decisions. But you know what? Energetically, this is not a time of loss. It's a time of awareness. Sometimes the delay is protection. Sometimes the confusion is clarity arriving, just more slowly than expected. And then, just as Mercury is already encouraging reflection on oh my gosh, hang on, I just written down the date and I've written it down wrong. I'm sure of it. One moment. Oh, let me turn over my page. 3rd. Yes, I thought it was the 3rd. I was going to say Sunday the 3rd for some bizarre reason, but no. on the 3rd, approximately 11:37 a.m. here in the UK, we have got a burst of a full moon. Oh yes, get ready with your cameras, my lovelies. Although the eclipse may not be seen, what with it being dark and not the peak at the time of the peak, blah, blah, blah. We have got the full moon, lunar eclipse in Virgo. Now, I know we've had the solar eclipse. That would have felt slightly different. However, the whole eclipse season accelerates growth. The eclipses reveal what has been hidden and what they bring, and the beginnings and the endings that are in your life. And also, as well, they bring those beginnings and endings much faster than we expect. They move you forward, even if part of you was still hesitating. Virgo is the sign of healing, organisation, well-being and truth. And Virgo notices what isn't working. Virgo sees what's needing to be adjusted. Virgo brings order to any chaos. So along with the retrograde bringing everything it's bringing, this eclipse may bring moments of sudden clarity. Yeah, that's the word I'm going for. You may realise that something you've been holding on to is no longer serving you. You may feel drawn to change your routines, your habits, your environment. You might feel emotional or reflective or even unexpectedly calm, as though a quiet knowing has settled within you. There can also be a sense of tug of war between your emotional self and your logical self, between what you've felt and what you now know. And let me tell you, this eclipse is going to bring that correction that we've already spoken about, not as punishment, but as alignment, because people often say that eclipse energy is not a time to manifest as well. And when I say that you are going to suddenly have an alignment energy and a need to manifest, this is the eclipse energy working perfectly. The reason they say you shouldn't use it is because it can be unpredictable. And I have to say, yes, it's true in some ways, but I also believe eclipse energy is incredibly powerful because it moves you into the timeline you are meant to be on. It was during eclipse energy that I manifested my home, the mortgage, the opportunity, the stability that once felt so distant. It arrived not through force, but through the alignment that I put forward. So instead of fearing any eclipse, allow yourself to be open. Allow yourself to release what feels heavy. Allow yourself to acknowledge what feels right, because this is a release and renew moment, which is perfect as we are stepping into meteorological spring. Also, on the full moon, we have got 3-3. The 3-3 portal, which carries its own beautiful frequency. So when I say that push and pull energy is here, it is real. Just go with the flow if you don't want to force anything. Let the day unfold what it needs to unfold. But I must just say, the number 3 symbolizes creation, expansion, and forward movement. And when this number repeats, it amplifies that energy. It reminds you that growth is happening, even if you can't see the full result. This portal is going to bring you lots of encouragement. It's going to bring momentum. It brings opportunities to move forward in ways that feel aligned rather than forced. And you might notice those ideas returning, inspiration returning, and motivation returning. So with that being said, after all of that energy swirling about, you might actually feel loads lighter. You might feel ready, and that readiness is everything. Shall we talk about some crystals now, my lovelies? Because there are certain crystals that support this kind of transition beautifully. And the first is phosphorite. Now, this carries an incredibly calming frequency. It helps soothe emotional overwhelm. It helps ease anxiety and create a sense of inner safety. During Mercury Retrograde and Eclipse energy, when emotions can, of course, arise unexpectedly, phosphosodorite, what can it do? In a nutshell, it helps you remain steady. It reminds you that you are safe, to feel safe, to release, and safe to move forward. My second is Bumblebee Jasper, which carries vibrant, life-affirming energy. This crystal reconnects you with your motivation, your confidence, and your sense of possibility. So if you felt stuck, uncertain, or hesitant, Bumblebee Jasper will gently encourage movement. It reminds you that you are allowed to grow, allowed to expand, and allowed to choose something new. And the third is Golden Healer Quartz, which carries deeply restorative and aligning energy. So this crystal is going to support healing on every level, helping you release emotional weight and reconnect with your higher self. So during eclipse periods especially, this golden healer, helps you integrate change in a way that helps feel supportive rather than overwhelming. And finally, agates. Agates are one of the most grounding and stabilizing crystals you can work with. It strengthens emotional balance, creates a sense of calm and protection within your environment. And it's got this steady anchoring energy to support you and your space, which is ideal to keep your feet firmly on the ground. And beautifully, I just want to say the crystal bar has been replenished with some of the most incredible pieces, including those that I've just mentioned and the most delectable marble onyx ring holders. I love them so much. Honestly, I kind of went with rather than what does the crystal bar need and what have you all been asking for, in that shop, I was looking at things I loved and adored, and I felt needed our attention for the coming energy of all of the eclipses, the portal and spring and the March energy. So with that being said, I've also ordered, in fact, they have arrived. I do need to sort out that box actually, but I've ordered, sorry, apologies. Those pieces are on the website right now, and I've ordered the most loveliest worry stones as well. They've been selling really fast, so I've got lots more of those. And some super surprising pieces as well. Brand new crystals to the crystal bar. So please do watch this space. Do you know, at the end of the day, I am a little business, little plea on. I am a business, and my business is to provide you with the most wonderful crystals to support you and your environment. And if they sit there on the website not being discovered, then I feel sad and they feel sad. But the shelves are booming with the most beautiful crystals. They are energizing and they're in the moonlight, the sunlight, around selenite, just charged up and beautiful and ready for you. Also as well, I am expecting imminently those bracelets that I've had made with that lovely family that I work with. Reiki infused, beautiful energy and delectable beading and workmanship. They will hopefully arrive anytime soon. Well, hopefully by the end of this week, if not next. So watch this space. Over the coming weeks, we've already started adding to the website. There are going to be some lovely, beautiful pieces in the newly added section. Also as well, we've got the most wonderful, elegant agate coasters. They're not only beautiful to look at, but energetically supportive. So they help you ground your space, your rest, and your daily rituals, whether placed beside your bed, beneath your drink, or used to hold your crystals. They are very stable, bringing stability and calm into your environment. Because remember, your surroundings shape how you feel more than you realize. So So this week, it is a week to trust what is unfolding. We've got reflection, clarity, release and movement. Mercury Retrograde is inviting you to pause and listen. The Virgo Eclipse full moon invites you to realign and release. The 3-3 portal invites you to move forward with renewed clarity. Nothing is... Oh, apologies, a bird just nearly flew into our window. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Oh. Perhaps that's a little bit of a symbolic message there. To go for it. Things might seem scary, but things won't be as bad as you might think. There you go. Nothing is happening to you. Everything is happening for your alignment. Spring is not rushing. It is unfolding, and so are you. Trust what is leaving. Trust what is returning. Trust what is beginning, because the more you worry and the more you ponder, the more time flies. And remember, if you don't start today, next week, next month, next year, you'll look back and wonder why you didn't. Okay, this might be the moment everything gently, quietly begins to change. Do you know what? We are giants. That was in my mind. As I was speaking, I could see us as giants just taking on the world and being strong and going for it. So gently, everything is going to begin to change. If you stand there like you're a giant, chest out to the sun, radiating golden energy, everything will align for you. And I am so honoured to walk into spring with you, my loves. I would like just to say as well that everything happens for a reason. I feel like I need to say that. I feel like there's been a strong collective message when I've been doing messages of the day, saying everything happens for a reason. Please share this with your audience. So I'm doing that now. I've had to kind of drive the messages away from that, because otherwise every message of the day would be similar. But you are coming out of this stronger. You are coming out of this wiser, more healed, more aligned, and everything is going to work out for your greater good, okay? But as we head into the new week, I just also want to say, come on, say it with me, the right crystals will always find you. Please just head to the newly added section on the crystal bar. Thank you. Have a great week. Love you lots. Bye. Before you go, I have a very special discount code for you, especially for those of you who love buying crystals. So, the code is podcastcrystal. If you use this at checkout at thecrystalbar.co.uk, you will get a very secret discount. And yes, it is a secret because I changed the value of the code throughout the year. So who knows what discount you will receive. But I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I hope you found it beneficial. And if you have, I'd be really grateful if you could just leave a comment, leave a review. And of course, if you have a friend who loves crystals just like us, please do share it with them. Sending you love, sending you light. Have a great week, because honestly, my lovelies, you really do deserve it. And as I said earlier, remember, the right crystal will always find you.